Now I have reviewed the instructions, have looked at all my parts, got them all separated here. So what we've got is good so far because we have no loose parts. We have nothing that's broken. Everything appears to be good and flat, like particularly your walls, which is always can be a problem because they have a tendency to bend or warp when they sit around warehouses and heat and that kind of thing. So we're in good shape so far, looking good. Now I have all my parts separated, and basically the way I separate my parts is, if I can do it, is on color first, then location on the kit second. For example, this will be the detached office building, but now there are two small pieces. It's a chimney with a foundation that's in there that I'll have to hand paint, but they're small pieces, so I want to keep those with, they'll be different color, but I want to keep those with the building so I know they're there. This is the pretty much the inside of the shed, your foundation, your storage racks and all that. They'll all primarily be one color. Now you'll notice, if you can see that, these have got some small parts on it, so even though I will spray paint these parts, I don't cut them off because I have a tendency to lose them. This will be the foundation and the roof, which are generally, you know, grays, concretes, blacks, that kind of thing. They'll be together. This will be the walls to the kit. They'll all be painted pretty much the same color and weathered. And once again, we have some smaller parts. These are your windows, doors, and things of that nature that I will spray paint, but again, I don't want to, they're easier to handle if I leave them on the sprue, and that way I don't lose them. Now in this box right here are the extra parts I don't need. I will need the glass and the decals, but I do not throw anything away until I'm completely through with the kit. Some of these sprues, you start cutting parts off and throw the sprue away, you'll come back later and find out that there was a little bitty part that you missed and you've probably thrown it in the trash. So I make it a habit to keep the sprue around for a while until I'm satisfied the kit's done. Another thing I will do here just shortly before I paint is I will take each one of these and wash them down real good and get all the, you can't tell it on here, but when you sand them, there's a little dust gets on there, so I want to wash all that off so that don't get in the paint. Like I said, I sand all the parts, get all the rough edges off, and then before I paint, do that before I paint. Then we'll come in, and when we start sanding, we always do a trial fit. But that's the way I organize everything, and I get it ready to go. So let me get these over to the sink before the wife gets home. Get these washed, I'll get them ready for painting. Don't throw your spare parts away. Once I'm through here, I will cut those parts off, and I'll keep a separate box with all these parts in it, because I promise you that once you get to doing kits and you get pretty good at it and get your little confidence going, you're going to want to start doing some scratch building and some kit bashing, as we call it. And it always helps to have these parts and everything around to help you along with that. Not only for you can use them in your kits, but you know, you get some kind of about the size of windows and stuff like that when you're cutting out styrene. Okay, let's assemble the office building. It's already painted. Didn't video that. Didn't want to bore you with the details. I have a dark green on the inside. It's painted yellow on the outside. I always paint the inside first and then come back with my outside colors. That way if I get the overspray back here that shows up, nobody will see that. I always paint the inside of my buildings a dark color. That way if I want to light it, which I plan on doing, the building won't glow. We also have right here, if you can see this, in this instance we can see this a little bit better. All this is 50 grit, 50 grade, whatever you want to call it, sandpaper that's glued to the original plastic ceiling or the roof that goes to this. Sandpaper, I've got some wash that I put on there to kind of tone it down some, but it looks more realistic than just a plain old black plastic roof. Okay, now we're going to install the glass into the sidewalls of the building. Now I always put mine in there like this to just see exactly where it fits. That way I know where I can put my glue, and I also use just a little toothpick to spread my glue with, because there's a real fine line around there and I don't want to get the glue on the glass, so I use a toothpick to spread it. You have to be careful when you do this. You don't want to get it on your glass because it really looks bad. It eats the plastic up. And I believe we got it. It fit in there nicely. Now I'm going to start assembly on the building, and I'm going to use my square here to make sure that I line it up the way it's supposed to be. So let's get a little glue on here. That in there like it should be, and we'll get it squared up here. Now we've got 3 walls up. All I'm doing now is letting the glue set up on these 2 sides here so that I can handle it a little bit easier, and then we'll take the end piece, which is right here, and then we'll probably what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and put everything on the base, and then we'll come in and put the end piece on at the very end. That way we've got room to work behind it and put our glue down so we can get her good and square and get her set on the base good and solid. Now we have our 3 walls on the base. Get you a little closer where you can see that. Now we're going to put the end piece on. And there we have our end piece, and we have the building completed. And we put a roof on. Kind of help square it up there a little bit. And there we have the office building for the Walton Sons Lumber Yard. Okay, as you can see, we've got the floor in. What the intention is now is when, and we'll do this on a separate video, like I said, I'm going to run a wall from right here to here and make this kind of an office area. And then this up here will be your general business transaction area. Here's the completed building. If you'll notice, it's instead of Walton Sons Lumber, I've used the decal Capital Lumber because we do have a Capital Lumber around here. So that's the reason I chose that decal. It has been weathered a little bit. I think the pictures you can see that a little bit. If you'll also notice in the front, you can see the floor. So that, I think that's going to be a nice addition to it when I get her, get my wall in there and get me some figures put in, and also going to have to light the building. So let me turn this around here a little bit for you and let you take a look at this. See, it's do have some weathering. Probably could stand a little bit more. The roof turned out just fine. Like the way the roof turned out. And on the back, I think we still probably stand a little bit more weathering. Of course, the camera doesn't pick up most of it, so I'm afraid to get it. Don't want to get it too dark. And here is the other side. And I also did the chimney here with you know, kind of a red brown brick and the white mortar. Give you a little bit better view of the front. These decals are tricky. I'm telling you, I have a fit with them. But so far, this has turned out quite nice. And as I told you, I've got to where the roof can come off, and that's what I'll do is put my wall in there and then do my interior. So there you have the Walton Sons, aka Capital Lumber office building. Now, before we start assembling the building, or one of the sheds, I want to do a little painting here to take this. I already painted this a little bit, but take some of this the plastic look off of it, so it don't look like it just came out of the kit. So what I've got is just a makeup sponge, and I'm just gonna dab it around here a little bit. Maybe use a little. We'll use a little beige, a little gray, maybe even throw a little green in there, just to kind of give it a little color. Now, this gives you a bit better idea about what I'm trying to accomplish here. Just give it that little weathered look. Doesn't have to be anything neat. Remember, we've got a lumber yard here. It's not. It sits out in the weather all the time. Oop. Okay, now that the paint's dried, got a little dusting chalk here. We're gonna give them kind of once over to give it a little bit more darker look. Now let's build one of our sheds. The first thing we've got to do is attach the walls to the base. And there's the precaution, if you want to weather your base on the inside, you better do it before you get your walls and your framework up, because you can't get to it. So let's get one of our walls put up here. Now this wall has got a little bow to it. It's either that or the base is bowed a little bit, so I've got to hold that down and make sure that stays square, or my roof won't fit on correctly. Now while my wall is here drying, we have to do a little body work here. Now these, if you're building the two separate sheds, you have to clip this off. So you get this turned around here so it don't cut off too much. Okay. Yeah, after you cut that off, make sure you get that good and smooth because your roof is going to sit on top of that. So this will go in the front this way, and this one will be your back piece. This will be your forms your bins for your lumber. Now that our walls are dry, this is the framework for what will go inside the building, and this would be your walkway, and it's going to lay in there like this, and it is snug, I'm telling you. Put this here, and then once you get your support structures in, then you have to raise this up. It'll have to be raise it up and level it inside the building. So what you want to make sure is you've got clearance on this that doesn't hang it up, so you can get it good and level. So what I do is I just sand my edges here a little bit, just make sure I don't have any burrs or anything that's going to catch the side of the wall and the back. I can tell the difference in the way it fits now. So, and then our back piece is going to fit in there, and there's two slots down the side of each wall here on either side. Turn this around so I can see it. Now that's how that fits in there. If you don't know if you can see it here or not, but raise this up here. These are little holes right here where these beams fit in. Now you got a row of them right here and a row of them right here. It goes down your slots on either side and attaches there in the right here. Now I will come in later. I've got these glued on the side, but I will come in on the back side here when I get the other one in and put some glue on it to secure these to the foundation. And then you have to match it up with the holes in the floor, which is can be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, see that's the way your support structure will sit in there, and in this, of course, we're going to glue this in, and then when we get our other piece in, we're going to come in and raise this up. See, it's kind of snug there to create our second level in the bins. So again, just make sure you've got plenty of clearance there that you can get that up and down with no problem. Now I'm going to raise my second level support beams here, so that if I've got any glue on the bottom down there, I won't glue that to the base and not be able to get it up. So just real easy with it. Just slide it right on up. Slide up in the back. Now I've got it slid up all the way as far as it'll go. Just want to make sure it's touches every point here so that it's good and straight. This will give you a better idea about how that superstructure on the inside comes up. You'll see where it crosses these beams right here. You want to make sure these are pulled all the way up to the top as far as they'll go. Now where it gets you level all the way across through there. Now when here in a little bit, as soon as these walls dries and I take the rubber band off, I'll come out with some glue, and I'll just put a little touch right here on each of these where these beams meet each other and secure that there. I don't, back here on the back wall, you could back here if you wanted to, but I just do it right there in the middle because I've got it good and level, so that should take care of it. Okay, now we have to add our wall extensions. I've added one over here on this side, this little piece right here, and then I've got to add one over here. And they go in a particular way, so if you don't get those on there right, your roof won't fit on there right. Now if you look how I've done how I've weathered these, I just all I took was just a little makeup sponge, which I don't have handy with me right now, but I just put some brown paint on it, some little acrylic, and just kind of just dabbed it in places here and there all the way through the support structure that's on the inside. So that's how we weathered that. Now we can put our railing on. Okay, now to put the railing on, it's a little touchy, but I don't know if you can see this little, right here there's a little hook that'll sit right on top of that, and when we glue that, it'll line it up all the way across, and there's a hook like that on the other end, so let me get some glue on here and then we'll get the railing put on. Now the railing is on, top railing. See how these match up with your beams that come out. So there's a little lip on the other side of this railing here that matches up with that and just kind of helps you hold it on there. So that's where that goes on there. But just be careful when you handle this, because this is not the plastic there's not real sturdy. Now I've got my ladder on this end. There's another one on the other end. Excuse me. If you'll notice, and I don't know if that's going to focus there, can't tell it, but if you can see here, your bottom rung runs closest to the ground here, and this is kind of open here at the top. So the long end of your ladder goes top side. Now we're going with the roof, and there's nothing really fantastic about it. Just a little glue, and we'll set it on there. Now the roof is on. Turn around here where you can see the way got a little overhang there. I'll come in here in just a little while and paint my little brace there, same color as the wall. Okay, now that we've got the roof on there, now we'll flip it up on its edge here and apply the roof joist. And there's one end, and they are tough to get in there. So now you see how that goes in. Finish up the rest of them and we'll come back.